You've seen how everyone has started posting the thing for December already. It's me. But for other reasons. For the holiday. Yes. Hi, my name is Lisa Oduor-Noah, and I'm a merchant of hope with music. Yeah.
We even have a date for next year.
Look.
We even have a period next year.
He said, so June, mark your date. I'm so dead.
You are so warm. Like, I didn't expect that.
You have to talk to my manager.
Yeah, you have to talk to my manager. This is my red card. You are so warm. You even told me you've been seeing this gig, and it was so encouraging even for me.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Let's talk about colors and that experience. How was that?
The story behind Colors is even there's an opportunity we got with Netflix. And something I love about my folks is that they never hindered us from exploring extracurricular stuff. So even when I guess I got more curious about it in high school, they weren't like, no, you must just do your books. No, they were like,
they were not like that.
It was like, oh, that's cool. I think my earliest memory is singing Mariah Carey sitting on an armchair. When you remember STV, that is showing you my age. No judgment. The first gig I did with June was 2013. I came back years later. It's like we picked up right where we left off. And that's what I mean. Like, just finding people who allow you to...
Big shout out to June.
Yeah.
June is amazing.
We love you, June.
Yeah.
June, can show you that is.
You're doing a very good job for the industry.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah. More people to be like
actually,
June.
we should interview.
You should look for her. I see. Someone once asked me, so what music do you like? I said, let me help you. I have almost 10,000 songs on my Spotify. And I'm not a DJ.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Hedgehog Unplugged podcast. We have an amazing guest today. Karibu sana.
Thank
Lisa
you.
Oduor-Noah.
Thank you, Enoque.
Yeah. How are you?
Jinx.
I'm
good. Busy season, but I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. How's it been? How's it been? How's this season been for you?
As you know, once you hit September, it's like a runway into all the gigs of the year. And every corporate saying, wow. So as everyone says, musicians' holidays in January. Yeah. So we're all mandicking for January. But I'm just like, hey, inaanza December. Yeah.
December, last week of December.
Hey, of course, you've seen how everyone has started posting the thing for December already. It's me. But for other reasons. For the holiday. Yes. Yeah, but it's been good. And you?
I've been good. I want us to start from the beginning. When did you fall in love with music? When did you know this is what you want to do?
Dangerous questions.
Yes, let's go. We are ready.
Wow. Hey, man. You must be ready for anything, okay? Emotions can get high and also be like,
You're telling me about the violin.
Yeah, you see? Wow. I think, this is basically the bedrock. I used to be rocked to sleep to music by relatives, and my parents have always loved music. So I've grown up with music literally in almost every environment that I've been in. Not just school, but at home. My mom and dad, musicians? They're not musicians, but they have a high affinity for music and enjoy it. Whether it's dancing, whether it was when we had potlucks at home, music has always been there, somewhere either in the background or just, they love music. Both my folks used to sing in school choirs. My dad used to play guitar. They have a high affinity for art. And something I love about my folks is that they never hindered us from exploring extracurricular stuff. So even when I guess I got more curious about it in high school, they weren't like, no, you must just do your books. No, they were
they were not like that.
It was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't think they'd expect for it to get here. I think they were just like, Allah. You know. But yeah, I used to be rocked to sleep to music. My parents, I remember two distinct things. My mom used to play this song called Happy New Year by ABBA every Happy New Year. Whoa.
I
Man.
knew it by heart.
But between that and Bonnie M, we're homies. Hey. Like ironically, even like when we moved house, I found an LP. Like we've been finding these LPs where we're like, what? Hey, this is like the original Bonnie M, and you're like, whenever they're by the rivers, that might belong to my. Even some records by my grandfather, like that my grandfather kept. For instance, my mom went to Limuru Girls, and we found an LP of like even before them, recording of the choir from Limuru Girls. So sometimes in your head you're like, Yani, you guys were recording LPs. These days it's a struggle to get vinyl. So things like that. So ever since I can remember, I think my earliest memory is singing Mariah Carey sitting on an armchair. When you remember STV, that is showing you my age. No judgment.
No judgment at all.
No, we're in the same arena. Singing, what's that song? Always Be My Baby. And like my siblings also used to, they love music. So my sister used to have this thing, a CD Logic, the thing that you flip and tells, the CD is gigantic one. Yeah, exactly. And between that and high school, just really getting more involved in small music competitions here and there.
Before we go to high school, I noticed you sing in Luo. How now from home? How's that? Like, do you speak in Luo at home?
My grandma.
So you're fluent.
Yes. It's just that I think most times when people say you're Bontao, they expect these ones, they don't know they're meaning. My grandmother would not spare us. My mother would not spare us. My father. And then also like even just the caregiver, my help. She was. She'd speak to me. So there's no. I think it's probably the first language I learned before now going to school. So and singing in Luo, my parents were not exempt for showing us music in different languages. So whether it was Lingala, whether it was Luo, like all sorts of things. Like there's my mom used to play My Sweet Elizabeth by what's that guy called, Kanda Bongo Man, I think. And my mom's name is Elizabeth, so so things like that. So or even my dad loved classical music, like still does, which is the shocker, because like I remember we were going through the LPs and we found Handel, Messiah, like Beethoven, Suji what, and I was like, this is the same guy who's here playing jazz guitar. So and I really appreciate them for the exposition to I guess the world of music, not world music, if you catch my drift. And just allowing us to immerse ourselves in different sounds.
Are you the only musician in your family?
Who's doing it like professionally? Yeah, but everyone. Like I remember my graduation, my family got the chance to come, and sister, the guy who was being honored, our honorary degree awardee was Nile Rodgers, who is a really famous guitarist who has played on very many records. And the main song which was being featured was We Are Family. My whole family got up and sang. So they were like, it is like our theme song. So in as much as they're not actually active musicians, it's all in our bones. So sometimes I was just like, God, maybe it's just the bug found me. And I happened to be right exact place, time, and opportunity. It's something for opportunity finds the prepared, I guess. So
awesome. Nice. So you finished, you've gotten into high school. Did you do music in high school?
Yeah, I did. It was more classical, so I guess following ABRSM and the like. But also in high school.
You've done ABRSM until?
No, let me not even play you right now. It was more like class music. So you go learn, okay, treble clef, how many is this? Okay, dominant, la la la. Then I did it in A level, which is more about the research, where you study, I think you pick particular, I wouldn't say schools of thought around music, but I'd say cultures. So like we studied Indian music. Then you pick a particular composer. This is at Rusinga, and this is at AS level, AS and A level music, which goes into more like now, okay, Sawa, you've learned your scales, your harmony, blah blah blah. Now let's take you into learning about a particular culture, maybe around music. So like for India, learning about the raga and different instruments, like their scales and like what's this thing called? The style of singing, what's it called, Carnatic music, and very interesting, because then you start thinking about, wow, that's like actually a thing. It's not like someone just, for lack of a better term, how when you don't understand something, you can, how do I say, frame it a particular way.
Yeah.
Like you'd think about all music is like Bollywood music, but it's not. You listen to guys like A.R. Rahman, and you get so intrigued because you're like, there's actually method and form. Just the same way you go learn about African music and you realize it's mostly pentatonic, and but then you go to SA and it's not all pentatonic, you know. So it was interesting to explore. I actually never thought I was going to be a musician, so let's just leave that there. And here we are.
So, were you singing in church?
Yeah. In church, in school, in the house, where music was everywhere. I'd do my homework listening to music, and my dad used to be so fascinated because he was like, how are you concentrating? Yet ironically, like as I studied or when I'd read, sometimes I think I'm an associative learner or something like that. Like I can like hear and also write, but also be like listening to something and singing along. So my brain was like, maybe I could have been a drummer if I took it seriously. Yeah. But yeah, so it was always around me. That's like even now on my way here, I was listening to music.
I saw you when you came in.
Yeah, taking off my headphones. So yeah, like I think it's more what music is for me. Sometimes I use it to process thought.
So do you listen to yourself or you're listening to
others? I don't think I listen to myself that much, if at all. I listen to others. I listen to music without lyrics. I listen to sometimes something that is just a repetitive theme, like mood music. I listen to chill hop. I listen to gospel. I listen to like a lot of music. Someone once asked me, so what music do you like? I said, let me help you. I have almost 10,000 songs on my Spotify, and I'm not a DJ. So yeah, I listen to a lot of music, but it's also what it caters to. You know, there's music that I listen to that is for my students. There's music that I listen to that's for a gig. There's music that I listen to relax me, or music that I listen to sleep. I listen to rain sounds if I want to relax, you know. Yeah.
I see you're going everywhere with your answers. You're going everywhere.
You pick where to go next.
Okay, let's talk about, first of all, going to Berkeley. How was that? I found out, I've done my research. I found out that you had started school here in Daystar, and then you had to stop and then go. How was that transition? And
I don't think anything prepares you for being immersed in the thing that you love. It feels good, but it's also a very big challenge. Because, for instance, when you leave home, you're part of a few. But then now you're going into where you are one of many. So the distinction...
One of many?
Yeah. Because if you think about it, I'm going into a school where there are over 1,000 musicians. Guitarists, singers, all sorts of... So literally you have so many things at your fingertips, but you also realize there's a lot you don't know. And also realize that this is where so many things about you are going to be tested. Your belief in yourself, what is the substance of what you're saying, whether you're a singer or not. What do you actually feel you want to do with music beyond just having a degree? What does who is your audience? What does your music speak to? You know, or if you're a teacher, what is your methodology? What's your pedagogy? You know, there's the things you learn in school, but it's gonna shape so much of who you are. Like for me, I realized I really love collaboration. I enjoyed so much. I think I played in an ensemble every semester, and that's like almost 12 semesters of... I didn't get tired, like just learning from so many different people. Like I had a teacher who told me practice makes permanent, not perfect. So whatever you do and you do repeatedly, you set a pattern for yourself, which is the same with life. Like music teaches you a lot about life, and I think that's the thing people don't realize sometimes. They're just like, Akiyo ni bomb. It's a great track, but you don't realize it's the soundtrack to your life. You know, whether it's your favorite songs or whether it's a musician you like, why you connect with them. Like music school, beyond the weather being wild, because I'm from the tropics, it teaches you a lot about yourself, like any school would. And I think
your major?
Contemporary writing and production, which ironically I started and I couldn't do the music really. So everything was by fire. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you said earlier you had done.
Let me tell you something.
Music.
There's one thing when you learn how to apply what you learn versus learning how to cram what you learn. Okay. And sometimes, unfortunately, our school systems teachers. Funny enough, my teachers for other subjects, I was inside. Wow, I enjoy learning. I actually enjoy learning. In fact, when I was in Daystar, I was like, this is great. So in my little secret prayers of my heart, I had no plans to study music. Berkeley hadn't even been coming to audition in Kenya for like 5-6 years. So I was like, hey, congrats to the guys who are going. I was going to become a psychologist. I think I still will, but let's see. Yeah. So it wasn't. I think maybe God just had like pretty secret prayers. I was like, maybe one day. But right now, I enjoy psychology thoroughly. Like my 1 year of school and stuff, starting the degree.
Yeah.
Was great. Like literally, even the process of acceptance. I applied on one day. 2 days later, they were like, "So you just in now."
Acceptance for Daystar.
Yeah, for Daystar. And in my head, I was like, "Ebu, just wait. I just got here. I just arrived." Okay. But for Berkeley, it was different. There was a waiting process, and like I wasn't applying because I was like, I know I'm gonna be accepted. etc. It was a phone call. And I was like, we're doing some video auditions. Do you want to go? And I was like, he's like, I would like to put you on the list. I said, oh, okay. I literally was walking out of class in Daystar to the bus stop that's right there in Hurlingham to go.
Let's actually talk about why did Eric Wanene call you?
I don't know.
How?
To be honest.
Does he know you at that time?
Yeah, I think so, because I'd been doing it since the season, and I think I'd done like
a
studio session, some stuff. Yeah, yeah. So it was kind of, but in my head I was like, oh, okay. I think it was myself, Tetu, a saxophonist who, what's his name? Was it Steve? Yeah, and a couple of people. Yeah, I think even the guy for Cafe Ngoma.
Steve. This is the one he didn't go.
Yeah, but I think he got a scholarship as well.
I remember.
So yeah, that it was an interesting crop of humans. Me, I was just like, okay, cool. I'll do the audition. I think I remember even being asked like, why do you want to go outside? I was just like, because I wouldn't be able to study it the way I want here, in the sense that I would like to explore music beyond just being here to teach. You know? Yeah.
Actually, let's get into that. How's that process like, coming from this industry and then going to US?
It's very different, I think.
And interacting with the industry there and then coming back.
It's very different. Yeah. When I left, the industry was a lot smaller. When I come back, it's a lot bigger. There are way more singers, songwriters, bands, way more. But then in the States, 2015 to 2019.
Okay.
So being away, it also teaches you, our version of celebritydom is very different. The people who you look up to, guys like Victor Wooten and Esperanza Spalding, all these celebs, they're just people like you who have a life that is very public. That's it. Like, I remember once crossing the street from school and Esperanza Spalding is there, and your brain is like, oh my goodness, I have your like CD in my house. But she's going with her double bass and she's walking to class. You're in your head like, I just want to fangirl. Ashapita Amanda. Like,
the opportunity is gone.
It's not even an opportunity. She's going to be in your school teaching class.
Be seeing...
So she's a teacher. Like, so it removes that thing from your brain where you're like, what? These people are like deities. No, they're just people who go to the bathroom like
human
you,
beings.
who want a life where they can sleep in. You know, it's just that you
like
have.
Right now.
Yeah, hello. They just have full. You just have a bigger view of their life, and sometimes it's not necessarily because they want you to.
Yeah.
But it just so happened that their songs, you connect to their songs, and you believe in them, and you've given them a platform to express themselves. So, yeah, like they're just people, and I think that was one of the best things to realize, because I think sometimes people idolize the life of being a musician, but it's an occupation. We have long hours. We sometimes are underpaid, and we still have deadlines. We still have to organize our lives and budget. We do the same things that you do, and I think that's the reality people need to learn to accept. With all of the glitz and glamour, it's part of the job. Just like you would have, okay, I have KPIs, you know, and I need to deliver. Yeah, even me, if I have an album, it needs to be out by a certain date. The promo needs to be done by a certain time. I need to find a team. I need to build. So it teaches you a lot that like, and all of them started somewhere. They didn't have everything kitted out for them. And the ones who did have everything kitted out, you can tell. And you can see how much they wrestle with it and when they thrive in it. So yeah.
Are you practicing what you got from actually here?
Yes, many different ways. Whether it's arranging vocals, whether it's kind of doing like post audio engineering, like for churches, sermons, things like that. Arranging BBs, performance, songwriting, like a bunch of things. Yeah, I think that's one thing I'm grateful for, because I've gone directly into doing what I said I do. Sometimes one section more than others, but it's been nice to do that.
18-year-old Lisa right now is thinking about getting into music, and it's like, is this a career I can get into?
Ironically, that was not my first thought. I was already in the industry from the time I was 16. So my brain was just like, oh, this is fun. And I can earn money. Wow. Great. Yeah. Because at the time, I think I'd been in Baptist church. It was around 2010 to 2012. So I was leading a choir. I was serving. I was doing a few gigs on the side. I think we started gigging with just a band and Blinky. So, and Kato. Like doing acoustic worship. So I was kind of like already
in it,
some degree, you know. So it was nice. I had some distance where I was like, I can still go home early and be an unattendee. And then I think it was more, I wasn't even thinking about it as a career. I just knew that for me it was a medium of expressing myself, and I enjoyed it. I still do.
Nice. That's amazing. Actually, my question was to an 18-year-old right now. Versus
me.
Would
I tell them to get?
Would you tell them to take this path that you've taken, and what would you tell them to do better now?
Do better. Wow.
From your experience. Or differently, or even do what you did that made you get here now.
I think what helped for me was surrounding. In some ways, I was kind of, like I said, opportunity meets the prepared. So some of the musicians were already around me. So just observing and watching. I used to go for album launches just to understand what did it look like, and just observe. And it looked very different back then from what it looks like now. I think I'd say be a very open observer, one, because there's so many different pockets of musicians here, you know. People who are distinctly singer-songwriter, the people who dabble in being in more popular music but are still songwriters. I mean, look at someone like Benso. People
Bien.
who Bien as well. Look at other people who are distinctly in music business, who used to be musicians, people like Tim Rimbui and
myself.
Hello. There you go, businessman. Hello. I was also a teacher. The people who are distinctly in education, people who want to influence policy. So I think take a look at it full rounded before you decide exactly what you want. There's some people who be like, I wanna be pop star. And I'm like, it's a lot of work. But I'd say go and look at it not with blinded eyes, because right now you still have rose colored glasses and you've seen it from a certain perspective. Ask your teachers if you're not yet finished school, ask your teachers who are musicians what it's like. Go to gigs, and if you have a moment, like more sit down gigs, and ask them. Like if you can ask a question, go to forums where you will meet musicians beyond being a musician, you know, because they're just people. And then at the end of the day, also, you're at a point in your life where it's a thing you can either do as a passion or full time. And sometimes it's not a bad thing to not do it full time. It's okay to have a life beyond music. That's what I'd say to them. And also, if you do make it your life, I'd say find a way to balance the joy of it versus the work of it, because I think anything you're passionate about will demand effort. So I guess I'd say be prudent, to know that it will not always be the way you expect, which is a good thing also, because we need to grow.
We need to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mind is going here. The first time I reached out to you to book you for a gig, and I told you that time that I've not had such an experience. It was the first time we were talking. I think we had met in the industry, but we had not interacted in person. And so I reached out. I wanted you to come play at Hedgehog Unplugged. When Hedgehog was not here, it was upstairs, first floor.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were so warm. Like, I didn't expect that.
Like, you have to talk to my manager.
Yeah, you have to talk to my manager. This is my red card. You are so warm. You even told me you've been seeing this gig, and it was so encouraging even for me.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
And the warm reception. And how has it been? Have you been able to keep that? Yeah.
Hey, I think in life it's generally hard to stay tender-hearted, because at the end of the day, for me, music is about connection. Whether I'm a musician or not, whether it's with the audience, whether it's with people, even in the business, like people will call you back because of the relationship. Yeah.
And I've been for
and
real. I've been
back. and honestly, I'm also like, the initiative is so good. Like, beyond just exposing people to music that they wouldn't hear, I think, I don't know, I like to believe in people who actually, their intention behind it is not just for, I just want to make a platform and then become famous, like dollars or whatever. No. And I guess also just knowing the heart behind it, is really important. You don't just partner with anyone. So that's why I ask you questions. And also I hear how you're speaking.
Okay.
Yeah. So I said, be an observer. Yeah, because also people will, also the rapport you build with people, your reputation precedes you. You can hear some things, they're like, hey, mkali, and then you're like, you can see where they're mkali, and you can also see where they're like actually really passionate about something, so and I know you're passionate about giving quality, not just music performances, but also putting people on the map, like African musicians, and as well as your own music. So so it speaks, the things you actually care about actually speak.
You'll see.
And not just in your content, but like, or the content of your music, you as a person, like people will know when you're working with Enoque, this is how he operates, and he'll keep going.
Awesome. Because even just before you, I had worked with someone else.
You told me. Wow. I said, we need bad.
I'm giving you a gig.
Like, I'm not trying to hurt you. Okay.
But also understand that thing about the industry.
And protecting yourself.
I've also seen the other side.
Yeah, we have.
Seen how,
and it can be very, very mean.
So how have you been able to?
I think it's important to be wise.
And
be prudent. Be nice. Because at the end, like I told you, at the end of the day, relationship is a lot of the thing that gets you through, or the thing that people will say, call this chick, she's actually good at what she does, but she'll also handle your stuff well and cares about your stuff. But beyond that, also, like I said, be prudent. Like, don't just walk into a situation, everyone's so lovely. No, like I said, you observe. You observe, you say, you ask questions, ask other people. Like, for instance, if I went to someone else and I said, hey, have you ever done a gig with this guy? Okay, what's that been like for you? What was your experience like? You ask, and then also you ask more than one person, because you want to have perspective. Even if someone has a bad experience, you go and you say, okay, if I have 3 or 4 out of 5 people say they've had a better experience with them, it could be you. You might be character developed, unfortunately, sorry. But also that gives you better chances of seeing that the person handles people better on most occasions than worse. And then also just finding out, like, just ask around about, okay, who are the people who choma, like, who should I work with or who should I not work with?
Who should I avoid?
Yes, no, really. Like, see people have what are these lists called? Blacklists, like for companies and businesses. Do the same thing.
We should have one.
That would be dangerous. Ooh. I think people would be more shocked about who's on it. Than even being like, then musicians would be like, oh no, Yeah,
We've seen this before.
Yeah. Because it's true. Because at the end of the day, it's true. Not everyone has the best intentions. But again, you have to be prudent enough to ask your questions and also protect yourself. Have things in writing. Do you have your own contract and things like that? Yeah. Ask.
Yeah.
Ask about contracts. Ask about publishing things. Ask about your rights as a musician. Ask about, am I entitled to this? Or even if you're a content creator, gotta think. Yeah.
Actually, let's get into this, the music business side and the importance of contracts, the importance of having everything written, no assumptions. Yeah.
And ask your questions. That's what I'm saying. Ask your questions. Like, what does this mean here? Does this mean that this and this, Because at the end of the day, you can't be like, if people will get you or trap you on what you don't know. Yeah. Don't be the person who they hid something in the contract. Go and ask. Look for a friend who is a lawyer and be like, hey, what does this mean? Like, I'm not understanding this. If you don't have a friend who's a lawyer, Google is your friend, man. Like, and there's so many demos of contracts online, all sorts, publishing, distribution, like even just breaking them down. Even I think even Kenya Copyright Board here, Kekobo, have like slideshows and things like that, showing you, okay, this is what it can look like. This is what a sampling agreement can look like. So yeah, look, like that's why I said sometimes there'll be the work that you put in the effort, and that's part of some of your own effort before you get a team or you have a manager. You have to have some framework.
So have you, like, your music and things that projects that you've been part of, like, do you have spreadsheets of everything?
I have I'm registered to a performance rights organization, so also I have an IPI number, so if we're going to collaborate, I'll be like, here, this is my number, and the contract, it says so. We have percentages written out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's important. Even for my own album, I have for the mix engineer, for the mastering, for the producer. I remember even there's an opportunity we got with Netflix, and immediately they sent me the agreement. I knew that I have to split evenly with the producer because that was our agreement, and I said, and I'm like,
a song that is already out.
Yes, for sync, So I sent the agreement. I sent it to him. I sent him his money, and we were both very happy.
Nice.
So, because at the end of the day, again, relationship. If I cheat him out of money now, how is that going to? And then one day he'll hear about it. Let me tell you, everything comes out. Where? The way.
Anything you do in the darkness will come
to the light.
To the light.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to protect yourself, and you have to be wise in what you're doing.
Do you have management? Is it?
I do, for especially international stuff. Still working on getting someone locally, but for the most part.
So you've been doing everything for yourself.
I told you, independent artists. We are our own managers, booking agents, social media. So sometimes I'm just like, hey, we're tired. That's also part of where I'm saying balance. Because and then you get people to come on, like you get a stylist, you get someone for social media, you get a PA, you get small
nice.
Progress,
Okay. We should actually produce something for you, like your own. I don't think, have you done a Lisa show? Like your own
I did when I first got back.
Hey, how long is that?
Look, you see, Kenyans, pressure. Never succumb to pressure.
No, I'm giving you pressure with a solution.
I see you.
We can produce it for you. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I see me after the podcast
with your team.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Let's talk about your music. Your last album came out, which will be your debut album in 2022. How's the process of making that album, and what was the intention? Why did you put that?
I actually was talking to a friend of mine who, maybe over 10 years ago, I used to tell him, I'm not going to make an album ever. I told him, I'm very happy being a session musician. Here we are. He even laughed. He laughed. He said, I just used to say that the whole time. And ironically, he wanted to be the first person to produce it. And I was like, we need to get you back in this. So, the intention behind it, I just wished a place. The songs were actually, I'd lived with them for a while, like maybe even a year or more. some of the songs are older than 2022. Like for instance, even like when I look at For Keeps, which is not on the album, For Keeps is like 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a whole conversation. I've kept it for mucho.
Yeah, you right. But yeah, I started making the music before I moved home. And I just had something to say. I don't know when the next time is I'll have something to say. Because sometimes I feel like we live with music and you experience it. Then when you're ready to put it out, now you're moving on to the next thing. Yeah. So by the time now the next album comes out, that is a whole other person, you know? They kind of frame who you are.
Did I write this?
Right? And you're like, what was that, Lord?
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think at the time I wanted to frame life in like, I think I had a theme for each song and just like what everyone goes through. Whether it's love, whether it's loss, whether it's transition, whether it's the question of success or failure, nostalgia, just different things we all relate to. And that's what every song caters to. So, and different perspectives of things. Like, people can just say, yeah, it's a love song. But I'm like, no, maybe the thought about, like, for instance, Jahera it's not just a love song. For me, it's like an ode to thinking about how I want to be seen in the eyes of someone who loves me, right? Yeah. That's why I say the one my love belongs to. So it's like, okay, how would they look at me? While Oasis on Bazi Street was it's a love letter to my parents and my family about leaving home and the things that I missed about home, you know? When mine was about, like, I have all these dreams and then I have this career, and sometimes it makes me feel like I don't know if I'll actually make it or I'll actually get to fulfill those desires and hopes. But then I'm wrestling and I'm saying, if ever you feel lost and you ever look at me like you think like I'm an example, you see me in the same search that you have, you know, searching for what's mine. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say.
Nice. Did you self-produce the album?
Mixture of myself and Riga, Johnson, and a couple of other people.
Johnson.
Omonije.
Johnson?
Omonije. He used to be here. He's now back in Nigeria.
Okay. Where to go? Yes. I think we've talked about the album. You even told us about the songs and the writing process. Projects that are coming up.
You and someone else messaged me and said, I can't wait.
We need another album.
Show and another, and I was just like,
we need an EP.
You know, you'd be surprised how much music lives in our lives as musicians. On my phone alone, how many? Some finished, some unfinished.
Why are you not putting all this music out?
Because I've been gigging. Because if you want me to perform and then be a musician at the same time, but I need time to do one or the other. So, and then also it costs money. So I gig to make the album. But we'll see. Like, maybe next year there's room for some nice things. So might not be an album, just a few more. But even this year, like, I think I have had a release for the first 6 months of the year. Every new song, whether it's Jerai, whether it's Polycarp, with Linky.
Oh yes. Music has
internationally with DJ Archer. Yeah, so we've still been working. It's just different genres. Like, I think we were like, this is a house song. Wow. I said, imagine. You know? So
nice.
Yeah, we've still been working. It's just let's see what I have to say about next year and musically. Yeah.
We are looking forward to new music.
Thank you.
You have amazing music.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This guy is a nice guy. It's a great guy. Work with him. Okay. Not just because he's being nice now.
Let's talk about Colors and that experience. How was that?
The story behind Colors is I didn't do anything. I was just picked and called again. Like, this is why I keep telling people, half of the things in my career, God is my manager, my booking agent, my special thanks to Monica, by the way, who was at Spotify and Kasavani. But yeah, ironically, and I'll just tell this little bit, it was one of the lowest points in my life when I got the call. And actually, it was a call, and then there's still a process. Like, okay, we'll listen to your music and see what might fit. if there was no fit, it wouldn't have happened, and I would have been okay with that. Because I don't think I expected, oh yeah, I'm gonna be one of them. No, it's not like that. Ready. Look out for anyway. Yeah. And they picked, like I told you, a song that's 6 years old. It wasn't even finished, if I'm that honest. We finished it the week I got the email. So, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you live with music for a while. So when they finished it and they were like, yeah, we want this one. I didn't know. They said, okay, pick a date. We'll give you 2 days. I said, okay. So we picked the date. We recorded it. I cried in that session. Whoa. Like, I wish you could call some of the cast and crew. Like, we were all watching it back and I started weeping and everyone was crying with me. And I said, wow, this is what happens to us.
Was it recorded here?
Yes.
Oh.
And then, like, I didn't know that mine would be the first release. So I was like, okay, this is a lot of attention. Whoa. A lot of attention at the same time.
You're
hey,
everywhere.
you're the one on people taking pictures of me and a billboard. I said, what? No one told me about a billboard. They just said promotional material. A billboard? Must there's a billboard on Gong Road? There's a billboard in town. Like, I'm just there like, oh, my life is not my own. But at the same time, like, okay, this is cool, but it's a lot. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's slightly running away to my house. But yeah, like, it was such an interesting opportunity that I didn't know I was preparing for. But when it landed in my lap, it changed my life. Just because for me it was like, it's such irony with how life plays out, that you get a global opportunity in the midst of what feels like the value of your life. And I think that for me it was just like a big promise where God is like, don't worry, I still got you. Even
I
when
always got you.
I always have, you know, especially when it looks like you're just facing a wall. I'm right there in between you and the wall. You know,
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, Colors was great. The crew was fantastic.
How did it change your life?
So kind. How did it change your life? All of a sudden, there are people who you've never known who have access, who feel like they have access to you, in the sense that all of a sudden, like, it's like you go from Kenya to now, Germany, Stuart. Like, even the
So
following jumped. Yeah, I got quite a few.
Wow.
And also it also gives you like maybe some degree of, yeah, guys, like, for real, this is coming, what, 10 years or more, and to be being in the music industry here in Kenya. So part of your brain is like, okay, cool, it's nice to know that even these guys were like, we like this, we like what you do, it's nice. And you're like, okay, that's affirming. But then also now people going like, oh wow, this is really okay, I'm going to use this for my wedding, so okay. And it's international people, and people now finding it's like a door opener to now finding out, okay, what does this song mean? Okay, what language is this? So you're actually somehow you end up even become a point of contact for people with Kenya, and your brain is like, oh my goodness, such responsibilities.
I've even seen Lupita posting your
that was really sweet of her. I was surprised. For Rolling Stone, I was like, wow. I was like, you're listening to that song? Wow. Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks, man. Shout out to Lupita. But yeah, I was like, that's really cool. And then shortly after, my friend and collaborator Blinky Bill was interviewed by them. So that's how I'm like, you end up being like a touch point, and then your brain goes,
alas,
they're listening to me. Oh goodness. Because it's not like you plan for people, I want to release this song and then this many people will listen to it. No. Like I told you, the song was unfinished. The only people who'd had that song, many people that I barely even performed it at school. So yeah, it was such a shocker. Like, part of you wants to hide in your house, but then another part of you is like, see, I'm actually working hard, okay? And there's another part of you which is like, hey, this is about to bring on more responsibilities. Okay, I need to post a bit more. Like, even ironically, before Colors, I remember doing the run-up to the release of the album, and I was like, okay, when you guys hit 10K and release the album. People did it in hours, and I was like, Muna Nishtua, thank you. Yeah, making me afraid for my life. Then all of a sudden, Colors comes. and 5,000, 6,000 people are like, wow, we like listening to you, and you're like, okay. 5,000 people is a small village, okay? Our town is listening to you. Hey, not hey. People from Japan, and I'm like, you guys, what in the world?
Yeah, and see why you have a ready market for
you
this
see?
show.
Skia.
Yeah?
Pitching again.
At least it's on record. It's on record.
Be like, don't say I didn't try. No,
Guys, I tried.
You see?
Guys, I tried.
No, it's there. I mean, I think also it's just, sometimes I feel like music comes about when you've had life.
Yeah.
So I needed, that one came out of a lot of life, and I hadn't yet said anything.
Same, I think even you've heard about Sage and her song. What's the name of?
Is the girl in the blue dress? Or which one?
No, her biggest song.
Oh, So Alive. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And how she was like,
yeah,
it's gonna be there. And then she thought Maskini would be
At
the one. And then she was like, this one was just recorded.
Yeah, at that time, she was not alive.
She was not. She was just like, look, okay, Sawa, I like the hook. Let me just sing.
Let's go.
You know?
Imagine.
And then all of a sudden, now everyone, "Cause I feel so one." Yeah. Go, you're standing in Sarita and you're like, that's my song. Yeah. That's how I felt. Like, I think it was COVID. And then we had released Ama Ajay, the Blinky. I was shopping in Carrefour. Just there. And I said,
is that my voice?
I even have a mask on. That's how serious it is. I was like, Carrefour is playing my jams. Wow. Guys, supermarket. And I was like, wow, Kumbe, we're not so far. You know, the supermarket, wow, they're streaming my music.
There's affirmation there.
Yeah, it's a little, but it's like, imagine there are people in this mall who've never heard this song. And these guys have decided we'll put Kenyans.
Yeah.
You know, it's very...
Actually, big up to everywhere that is playing Kenyan. I go to places and I don't hear any Kenyan song. I'm like, where are you guys living?
It's like, funny, you don't think they're musicians who are doing nice things.
Play Kenyan
There's
music.
There's so many. Like, I remember, I was with Jerai when we were recording Friend Zone before she dropped it on the EP. Yeah. And then she showed me, his name Shad. There's a song called
Shad
Sherehe.
Yeah.
Sherehe.
December.
I was like, what? Why don't people know this guy? I was just there, wow, singing the whole time.
Actually met him in studios.
See? What? Bruh. Like,
why are people not listening to?
And that was earlier this year. And then my brain was like, Maze, we need to do better. And I was like, can you imagine? Like, that song, I might not have discovered that song. And other musicians actually do a good job of putting you onto other people's music. Yeah. So I honestly think, like, it's really, which is another reason why I think we enjoy partnering with you, because you're putting on people who,
and that's the intention.
Some don't. That's what it's supposed to be. And it should be good for other musicians to also share your stuff, because that also says, hey, we think they're dope, listen, you know. Yeah.
Awesome. How has it been collaborating with Blinky? Because you've done that.
Best.
Wow. I mean it.
So best. Look, even I've said so best.
So best.
My English has left me.
Bestest.
Exactly. No, it's such a joy. I like the way his mind thinks, both creatively and even just as a person. He's a great person to collaborate with him.
Yeah, because you have jams.
Kato,
you can even do you've done gigs together.
Yeah. I said Friday. So yeah, like, so much fun. And also just being given the liberty to express yourself and create. And
I love how the songs go to different places.
Yeah. So many. Like, and that should tell you something. 10 years for actually 11. I've known him maybe since I was 15, 14, but have worked with him for over 10 years.
Awesome.
Again, see, relationships. How you handle your relationships.
Yeah,
friendships or even business relationships says a lot. And but him, Kato, Noel, so many. Even Jerai, top. Like, I enjoy working with them. So many people. Zinnia, joy of my heart. Enjoy. Like, I think with Z, like, even sometimes when we're in studio, I remember, like, when we sing together and then we're just like, wow, you feel so much joy.
Was she in Berkeley as well?
Yes, she was. Yes, music business degree.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, like, and like, even some knowing before, even Karun, Joki Karu, so many people.
Collaboration is where it's at.
Yeah, that, and even just, I think as a musician, you have to learn to enjoy other musicians, not compare. I think
Or
that's a very
compete.
important thing. Yes, compete. You're not competing for an audience. They will listen to you and listen to Enoque. They will listen to, and it's supposed to be like that because you feed or speak to different things in their lives, which is how it's supposed to be. You don't just eat rice and mincemeat every day for the rest of your life, do you?
Yeah,
You can spruce it up. There'll be githeri on one day, there'll be fries on one day. Other days you'll crave chapo. You eat.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome. You perform a lot.
Full stop.
A lot. What's your process for preparing? And you always kill it.
Thank you. Rehearsals, of course, with the band, talking through stuff. Also, I think having a good relationship with your band. I enjoy playing with my band so much. And I think also just rest. People think that musicians are out all the time. No, let me tell you, if I could be home by 5 p.m. every day, I would be. Even after gigs, most of the time I don't stay out too long because I'm first of all, you expend so much energy on stage, but then on top of that, you've thought through so much, like the performance, the interaction, those things. So you need downtime before and after.
I was actually thinking about that today. How I have this shoot, I have one more meeting, and I am going home. I was like, is there anything else? No, there's nothing else. I'm going home.
Yeah, even like my phone, personal or do not disturb, So also just like on the day of the gig, just there'll be a makeup artist. If the stylist is there, we'll deal with her. Then I just sit quietly and think through what I want to come out of it. Sit and pray, warm up. And then before we go on stage, just talk to the boys, the band, and then we go up. See if I want to feature people, think through things like that. What do I want the performance to be? For instance, like we did a show at Book Bank the night at the library.
I actually saw that.
Yeah. And I was supposed to have an acoustic set first and then do a bigger set. So I decided to call my friends up at the end. And I was like, bring on other people. I brought on Chitakwa, Kendi, and Joy Ochoa.
I met Chitakwa this past weekend.
Yes,
with Justified.
Yes,
she's amazing.
Fantastic. All of them are, and I'm like, I had so much more fun doing the gig. As much as my name was the one. Like singing with them, and then also they bring different aspects to the performance. Someone you might find is such a great crowd person, or someone else is will sing the house down. People are like, here, and you enjoy. Like it makes me enjoy the music even more because we're like all beaming with joy and like dancing and just feeding off each other's energy, if that makes sense, and just it changes the whole experience instead of just being so center pointed on me. So I enjoy that and enjoying other musicians. I mean, even we were with you on Sunday, instead of being like, I want to come up and sing. No, I went and sat and I ulated and I clapped and you go to gigs also to enjoy other people, and support them. So
nice. Okay.
Part of my process like that.
Nice. And even the different productions, the Motown,
the Hang, same thing.
Actually, the collaboration.
Working with June.
Working with
June has
other musicians.
The first gig I did with June was 2013. I came back years later and it's like we picked up right where we left off. And that's what I mean. Like just finding people who allow you to.
Big shout out to June.
Yeah.
June is amazing.
We love you, June. June can show you that is.
You're doing a very good job for the industry.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah. More people to be like
actually,
June.
we should interview.
You should look for her. I see. Like so many people did a good job with McKinley. This year we did Love and Ballads. So I think that's a lot of the essence. Just thinking through, okay, what do I actually want to put forward? And then who is coming to see me? There are people who support you regardless of whatever you put out. People will come for all your gigs, like without failure. And some will come for specific ones.
Your people.
Yeah. I remember, I think that first Hedgehog we did, you were like, is it the biggest that I've done? And I was like, it's amazing.
Actually, I wanted us to talk about that, and it's good that you've
segued you nicely.
That gig is what opened doors to Sarit.
Really?
Like who is this doing gigs here? So from that gig, I got to start doing gigs.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. And the way that gig, let me tell you.
Yeah, because that was the biggest Hedgehog Unplugged we did.
Incredible. That's like...
Because we had transitioned. We had
yes, you had.
The gigs were free at some point, and then we started...
doing ticketed. Yeah, I remember.
And so that was the biggest ticketed one.
that actually makes me feel like... guy.
So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to you guys who came. Can you imagine now they're on the rooftop? Come and see the gigs. Stop playing and sitting at home. Festive season is a good time to support musicians. Yes. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for the platform. Like that gig actually is still one of my favorites. Some of my students even came. I had these 2 little girl students, and one of them was looking at me like, Kenny, you're for real. You know? And I'm like, I'm not doing it like a joke, I promise. You know?
Like you have your entire set.
Yeah, it's like, hi, sweetie, this is a real thing I do. I don't just come to your house to teach you. And for me, I think that was so good because they actually get to see like it's a real thing. Like I'm actually a musician. Like I'm not just your teacher, and I'm still also a person because I'm singing about stuff that one day you might experience or your parents have, you know. So that I really enjoyed that gig, and it was like at such a transitional point in life also. I think it was just shortly after my birthday or the weekend just actually, before my birthday.
Yeah, I remember us switching up the dates.
It was and I tried to do a show around my birthday just to say thank you.
You see, we even have a date for next year.
Look.
We even have a period next year.
He said, so June, mark your date. I'm so dead. Lucky Enoque. I think I'm really grateful.
Awesome. This was not in my plan of questions, but I want us to go there. I saw you were very vocal this period for protests, and where are you
now?
That time and now.
You know, I was very vocal because I'm like, this is my country. This is my home. And like, it cannot be the place that it feels like my dreams must die as well. Where you're being pressed in on every side, literally. Like, it's already hard enough as creatives, establishing yourself. Especially, like, I really applaud the creatives who have families. It's not an easy task, okay? Like, especially being just musicians. But who have been able to tap into that and manage their resources well. And they're like there's so many things that are not actually catering to musicians. We don't have insurance policies. A lot of us don't have health policies. We don't, because you believe from paycheck to paycheck for so many, you know. And there's and having security is a lot harder. So when you think about things like you could be disinherited from family land that has been in your family, you know, that for some people that's their security. We've watched some of our friends get so sick. We lost so many friends in June who passed away, like, and you're like, man, you guys really just want to finish us. And fortunately, unfortunately, a lot of the percentage of creatives are youth. It's us who'll have to sit through the next however so many years of living with these policies that you guys make, or the ones being disenfranchised. And then it's also us watching you defraud people like our parents who work so hard, and that's completely unfair. So I was just like, no, man. Even now it's tiring. I've actually like had to protect my mental space by sometimes not watching news intentionally, because sometimes I'm like, hey, you people just come, like that guy says, Shani is just yapping, opening your mouth to say things where you're like, did you guys even think did you actually think about the collective conscious and what this will do to how people perceive you, but also the impact of what your words, what your decisions will do? And as we've evidenced, a lot of them don't. And unfortunately, I think that it means there needs to be a deeper questioning of what we have founded a lot of what we believe in about our country on. beyond your religious beliefs. What are the things that our policies were built on, whether in terms of securing wealth, whether in terms of business and health, that we can let teachers and doctors go on strike, yet you'll say education and health are the pillars of our nation, some of the pillars of our nation. We are preaching water and drinking wine, and we need to preach water and drink water. So even now I'm like, my knees might not be the knees for June. If we need to go and make noise, we will, because at the end of the day it will be us and it will be our children who have to live through it. So
are you using your platform, like gigs you're doing?
Have been. I have been. Also because I'm at the same time, I realize also you'd be surprised how charged people can be, or also not accepting. Like someone will say, I don't want any drama, so let me not let this person perform on this gig. It's become like that now, so it's also a very serious reality. So you have to find a way.
Find a balance.
You find a balance, but also you have to be, like I said, being prudent is very important.
I've had that a lot here. Thank you.
No problem.
Someone who's meeting you for the first time, what do you tell them?
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lisa Oduor-Noah, and I'm a merchant of hope with music.
Yes. Awesome. That has been our time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
For coming.
Always.
See you on the next episode.
Bye.